Welcome to Virtuous Woman Taking Over podcast, where you get educated on subjects that everyone is interested in. This show will bring topics to the table that both young and older women will enjoy. We will focus on women's attributes, women walking in their gifts, relationships, and so much more. Get in tune with your host, Kelly, your girl who cares the most.
Welcome to Virtuous Woman Taking Over, where we talk about the attributes of a woman from the biblical perspective of the Bible. So I welcome my viewers today with WTMH and ask that you would consider hitting the subscribe button today, and also if you can maybe share the show today, because we have a very unique show today. As of last week, I brought on the life coaches, Mr. and Mrs. Coleman, and what we're doing today is I'm going to get a live coaching today so that you would be able to experience what a live coaching is. So share the show today, hit the subscribe button, and enjoy. Dorothy, I'm the host, Kelly, my co-host here, Dorothy. And Dorothy, do you have anything you want to say today?
Well, I would just like to welcome our life coaches on the show. We are looking forward to what you have to bring. They've been in business close to 20 years. So I'm so super excited, to hear this live coaching with Miss Kelly. So I'm looking forward to it. And we have Miss Coleman. over here who has joined us today. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, before you start the live coaching, what I wanted to share with the audience is an understanding of the premise of coaching. So coaching is very individualized. So although you're watching Kelly today, this is going to be what she wants to work on. Now, life coaching is individualized to where you could have communication problems with your spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend. It could be you have financial struggles where you're stuck. It could also be to where you don't know how to grow as far as in your career. There's many aspects as far as coaching. So we want you to really visualize yourself as Kelly as he's asking the questions, not just to watch, but to be engaged in the session with them. So we just kind of wanted to base a context of coaching and the various aspects that it has. So as they're watching, they can visualize themselves. And then we have the number on the bottom of the screen for you to call in. So after the coaching session is over, once you had questions, we want you to call in and ask the questions so we can answer questions for you, because you may see something in this coaching that you felt the same way or you experienced the same thing. So although the coaching is very different and it's, like I said, it's very individualized, it all ends up as a reward in the end. You get to where you want to be. You get everything that you asked for. So in that, to kind of sum it up, in coaching, it takes transparency, and that's a tough one. We asked Kelly, can you be transparent? Are you going to be open to allow people to see your transparency? And she committed to herself. See, in coaching, you have to be committed to yourself, and she committed to that. So transparency and being committed to yourself is very important in coaching. So we are offering, a 30-minute session so you can see if you're even ready for coaching, because we're very honorable and we have integrity that if we don't feel that you're ready for coaching, we're not going to take you on as a client. We want to make sure that you're going to receive something and it is going to move you forward, and you are going to get everything that you asked for when you get into the coaching session.
Okay. So I'm super excited about this because Mr. and Mrs. Coleman has helped several families in their relationships. So guys, I'm just super excited about what we're going to hear today. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Miss Kelly.
And I'm super excited about it as well. My first time even experiencing a life coaching session. And like she said, I'm going to be very vulnerable. So I just want you guys to engage in the process and learn. And if you would like to have a lifetime coaching session with them, like she said, the numbers will be on the screen. Call in. We'll be glad to make an appointment for you. We would love to have a class for a group session as well. So if you're very interested in that, give us a call, let us know, and we'll do a group session as well, because we all are going to need some life coaching eventually in your lifetime. So you'll be able to experience what that is today. So we're going to take a little 5-minute break, reset the scene, and we'll be right back with you.
Virtuous we will be, victory. precious than diamond rings. All you have to do is take heed to his word, and then you have to believe. Strength and honor, they are your clothes, and kind words for you to speak. Don't walk around with your head to the ground, and don't walk around in defeat.
Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy. Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy.
You gotta change your heart to be a noble heart and bring a good to his life. He'll know the feeling is right. A family is a delight. She'll raise her children upright, and our price is marble. Rubies and rubies, rubies and rubies.
Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy. Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy. Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy. Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy.
Proverbs 31:10 says, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies." Welcome back to Virtuous Women, where we do bring out the attributes of the women of the Bible, characteristics, and talk about how we can apply that to our lives today. So today we do have a live coaching show, and I will be coached today by Tim Coleman. And so we're going to go ahead and start the coaching session and just enjoy the ride.
Okay. Hi, Terry. How you doing, Kelly?
I'm fine.
Good. I just wanted to, before we get started, one of the things that we wanted to do was talk about, we will be receiving calls in so that we can handle calls a little bit later in the show. Telephone number 614-824-8594. And then you'll see our website on the bottom, anewparadigmforliving.com. Okay? So, how you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing good.
Okay. So, this is your first time being coached?
Yes.
Okay. How are you feeling?
Nervous.
Okay. That's actually a little bit normal.
Okay.
So, you've been thinking a little bit about what you wanted to be coached on.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to talk about today?
Being successful in life and just about everything, business, ministry, marriage, whatever.
Okay.
The success, how to get the tools to stay successful.
Okay. So, just overall success is what you'd like to stay
Yes.
focused on. Okay.
Yes.
Good. So, let's start off with this. What would be your definition of success?
My definition of success would be dedication, commitment,
I guess, research, studying, learning, just knowing what you want to be successful.
Okay.
I know.
So are you clear as to what it is that you really want to be successful?
I'm not going to say I'm clear, but I'm searching.
Okay. So where are you searching? What are you looking at?
I'm looking at where's my calling.
Okay.
I mean, exactly what am I here for? What is my calling for?
Okay.
I mean, I do a lot of things. I do my shows. I do write. I do sing. I have a business where I do decorating and planning for business for I'm getting tied up here. Business plan. I mean, I plan for event planning.
planning.
Goodness, got tongue tied there. Event planning. So I mean, I do a few things. I'm looking for what I'm supposed to be doing totally, and what God sent me here to do.
Okay. So I think the first place to kind of look at is, because you're doing all the things that you're doing right now, and you used the term that kind of caught my ear, is supposed to be doing. With all the things that you're doing, what is it that makes you believe that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing?
I don't know if it's something that makes me believe I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about that question.
Yeah, because if someone's looking for this thing called success, and they have a definition for what success is, and then they're driving with action. You've got the show, you've got the business, you have this program that you do, and then the other myriad of things that you're doing in your life is for some reason. What would be the purpose of that?
The purpose of why I do what I do?
Yeah.
Because I have a desire for people to live righteously, to not be stuck. I have a heart to help people.
Okay.
So everything I do is for someone to get help along the way.
Okay, I get that. So you don't want other people to get stuck, and you want to do whatever you can to unstick them so that they can fulfill on whatever they're wanting to do.
Yes.
So that they can be successful.
Correct.
Okay. And then your question is, how do you be successful?
No, my question is, am I in the place where I am being successful? Am I using the correct tools to be successful?
Okay. Okay. I got it. So here's where I'm a little lost. But help me. We can just work through it.
Okay.
You're doing the things that you want to do to impact people the way that you want to impact them at this particular moment in your life.
Yes.
Is there anything that you're dissatisfied with?
No, I don't think I'm dissatisfied. I just want to make sure I'm doing the right thing.
Okay. And what would give you that certainty that you're doing the right thing? How would you know that you're doing the right thing when you're doing the right thing?
From the results.
Okay.
From the people that I am impacting.
Okay.
That just lets me know if I'm in the right place.
Okay. Good. So with the people that you're doing, the things that you're doing right now, like you've got your business that does event planning,
Mm-hmm.
You're impacting people here through them listening to the messages that you have. You've got your music that you're impacting people. What do you know about how you're impacting people today?
What do I know about it?
Yeah, like what
Like
type of
what-
feedback do you get? What type of, what are people telling you?
Well, a lot of people are telling me that when they hear my music, how inspired they are about it, how they enjoy my music. The shows, I get a lot of response from the shows of how good the shows were and how it impacted them, you know. And when I do event planning and decorating, I just do that because I want somebody to feel like they had somebody that was helping them. Because I don't really, it's based off of your income. Like if you can't afford to do it, I'm going to be there to help you to get it done. Okay. Regardless.
Okay. So it's, so sometimes you help out people who can't really afford the full amount that you charge. You help them by lowering your costs. Okay, good.
Correct.
Okay, good. Okay, here's what I'm seeing. Okay, so you want to be successful. You have a definition for success. You're pretty clear about that, because when I asked you, you didn't hesitate. You just went right to it. You're doing these things and you're getting feedback.
Right.
Are you certain that that's what you want to look at in that place called how are you for certain that you're being successful when you have all of the tools that actually tell you? Is there something else that you're looking at that
Well,
you really want to get a handle on?
I might not be successful in other areas like my marriage or something like that. So that might be what's bothering.
Okay.
You know, what might be bothering me to wonder if I'm really in the right place. So
I got you. So something that's so you've got these other things that are successful and they're important to you. And then there's this other area in your life that you're kind of looking at as to whether or not you are successful, and it says something to you. Well, and what I mean by it says something to you is when you think of that thing, you have a feeling that's associated with it. Thoughts may come with you, come along with it, that doesn't align with when you are successful, you feel a particular way. You have a certain energy about yourself.
Right.
You're moving and impacting and making and the contribution that you want. But in this particular area, sometimes you don't really feel that same energy.
no, I don't.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. All right, gotcha. So, what do you want to do?
What do I want to do with that energy
Yeah,
from
yeah,
that?
yeah.
I don't know what I want to do. I'm trying to make choices and decisions about it. Being prayerful about it, but I don't think it's because of my input in the relationship. I think it's that we're not on the same page.
So, gotcha. So, because you're not on the same page is one thing I'm going to point you to. When Kelly looks at this thing called relationship, because the person that you're in relationship with that you feel like it's not going the way you want, he's not here. So what we can look at is when you're in relationship, what is it that you're looking for?
In the relationship,
Yeah.
building
What you're looking-
together.
okay. Building means, what is
Building our
build?
lives together. Learning how to embrace each other, encourage and motivate each other, looking what's inside that we can do to take each other to the next level. Got to be spiritually in tune together. I
Okay.
mean, those are the things I'm looking for.
Okay. And so in that, you're willing to, because you know that's not easy sometimes. Sometimes you'll have your ups and downs. So you're willing to take on the challenges that you would have to face in order to make sure that you guys are aligned.
Right.
Okay. All right. So would it be fair to say that the person to be in relationship with Kelly would actually have to be open to be in alignment as well? So have to be open to challenges as equally, if not more.
Correct.
Okay. And so as you look at your relationship, as you're looking at it now, because you're working on wherever it's going to be, but at some point you're looking out to see where is Kelly's relationships across the board, not just your marriage relationship, but friendships, sisterhoods, all the relationships that you have, do they align with what you see as relationship? Because at the end of the day, if they don't, they have the potential of something interrupting it. Meaning, let me be a little bit clear.
Okay.
Meaning that you'll come to a day where you think the relationship is in one place, and then you actually live out the experience that it's not.
You said with anybody?
Mhm.
I don't really have a lot of problems with relationships with friends or, family or none of that. The only struggle that I can really just say is I've been struggling in my marriage. I don't understand why I'm having so many struggles with that, because the same energy I give off to any friends or relatives, they know where my heart is. They know that, I'm a caring person. And they understand me, but I just don't get that same energy in my relationship.
Yeah. What's driving that? What is it that's causing the people who really, you said who really knows you, what drives that getting to know Kelly?
What drives getting
Yeah.
to know Kelly?
Yeah.
don't-
Let me clarify that
Okay.
so you can see where I'm looking here. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So what you have is you have a distinction, is what it's called in coaching. There's an experience that you have of people who interact with you who really gets to know you, that it makes these conversations a lot more easier for you to move through in relationship, because we're just talking about relationship. When you go to your marriage relationship, you find that there's something that's blocking it. There's something that's sticking it. So what I want you to look at is when it actually works, what's going on there, and now you'll have something to distinguish the relationship that's not working. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm a parent. I mean, I'm open. I try everything I can to stay focused. What's the word? What else I want to say? I'm vocal, but I'm vocal in a way to whereas I want the truth to come out. I mean, you know, I stay honest about things. In relationships with friends, I don't hold nothing back.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I just let them know how I feel. I don't hide anything. I keep it real, whatever is on my heart or whatever. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know, but in my marriage, it doesn't work.
Okay. See, I think that just as I'm listening to you, I don't see it as a matter of good or bad. I see it as a matter of something that, in order to have this successful relationship that you're looking at, it's important to be open and honest and then deal with things as they come, it sounds like. But when I'm in an experience that I can't do that, I get stuck.
Right.
Okay, so it may not be good or bad for the person who's in relationship with you, but it actually works for you. And when you don't have it is where it comes into an issue. So
Yeah.
as you're looking at what's not working, sometimes I think the first place that we look at ourselves as kind of being the issue. And we know that in our lives that we always can do some things better. No doubt about that.
Right.
But sometimes I think that when we start to look, we put too much onus on ourselves. And if you're clear about, it would be different though, Kelly, if you had other relationships that looks like stuck, like maybe your marriage relationships, in that lack of openness, lack of transparency, lack of just getting to be who I am. If that was consistent across the board, then we would be going, hey, Kelly, you gotta look at some serious things here. But because you have experiences where it actually really works, that actually tells you that it works for you. Even though sometimes you might be a little bit more in the conversations, a little bit more forward, or telling a little bit more truth than you like, what you get out of that is that you get that the person really understands where you're coming from a heart space, and that your intentions at the end of the day is not for mean or adverse reasons.
Right.
But when I get to my marriage relationships, I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm not getting the same outcome.
Right.
Okay. That's what it sounds like?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what does that tell you?
Unequally yoked, it sounds like to me.
Yeah, sometimes we think we're, because sometimes we think we're equally yoked. And I think that equally yoked is really important because in the Bible there's a conversation around being equally yoked. And I think that as you're helping your audience understand the authentic meaning and the interpreting the Bible from a contextual point of view that actually drives your life forward, this equally yoked thing is something that's important. Sometimes I think that we think that as we talk about equally yoked, if I'm a Christian and you're a Christian, then we're equally yoked.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people look at it like, but it's more deeper than that.
Yeah, I think you got your finger on it.
Definitely more deeper than that.
Uh-huh.
Like we got to be going the same place. We have to have the same mindset. Yeah.
So I think you're on to something here. I think that when we talk about equally yoked, if I'm sitting here as a Christian and I think equally yoked means that I need to have a good Christian and I'm a good Christian, and then we're going to be cool. Everything's going to be great. Well, I think Equally Yoked has some varying degrees. I think that's the premise. That's where you should start from, the basis of it.
Right.
But then there's other things that come into play, like, as a Christian, do you get to be who you are as you're trying to perfect yourself in this relationship called marriage? Or do I have to try to act like I'm something else and I'm living out the experience that is not working for me? Then what?
Right.
It could create some
gonna crash.
confusion. Yeah, a confusion. And at the end of the day, what I see is it sometimes has us calling into question ourselves, our own intentions, our own, we start doubting ourselves. And when we start moving into that space, not only do we start calling into doubt, questions of doubt, and whether or not my intentions are in the right place, then you start looking over the landscape of your life and questioning that. And when we start doing that, we could come into this conversation called, I wonder, am I being really successful? When you're actually fulfilling on the things that you say from what type of, what is the impact and what is the contribution that I want to make to others? Is I want to do whatever I can so that they can be unstuck, so that they could live a life of purpose, so that they can fulfill on whatever it is that they want to fulfill on. It sounds like in other aspects of your life you got that rolling pretty good. Could it be rolling better? Yep, but you know, in our lives as a human being, things could always be better. But it's sometimes not a degree of better. It's actually, are you doing it or aren't you? It's really, when you're looking at a fence, you're not standing on the fence. It's like, am I doing it or am I not? And as I'm listening to you, and even the energy at what you're talking to me, it sounds like you're doing it. And it will continue to grow as you move forward, as you continue to get more experiences, and you'll get experience at the things you're doing, you'll get better. But one of the things that I think that may be getting in the way is, we call it sometimes non-negotiables. Non-negotiables. And what a non-negotiable is in coaching is, these are the things that I need to make me feel like I'm headed in the right direction, that I'm aligned with myself, I'm aligned with my God and my approach to life. When I don't have them, I don't feel like I'm aligned. I feel out of alignment, and then I start questioning other stuff. Okay? But really, what it is like, it's the choices that you're making in the moment that you're making the choice. Are you making the choice off of something other than your non-negotiable? Like whatever. Like when you make your choice about your mate, do you sometimes give more room than you really need, where you're giving up some of your non-negotiables so that you can fulfill the non-negotiables of somebody else?
Probably.
Okay, well.
Probably.
Well, when we do that, and it's probably true, when we do that, there's a consequence to that. We give up a part of ourselves. And when we give up a part of ourselves, we come to the day where you are right now, where you're trying to get a handle on the what happened. Okay? But how do I get a handle on the what happened is, you've got to stay focused on what you do well. And as you move forward, someone else's non-negotiable can't be more important than your non-negotiable.
True.
And it doesn't mean that you're not taking into consideration their non-negotiables and trying to fulfill on, trying to support them to the best that you can support them. It simply means that when you give up your non-negotiable for somebody else's non-negotiable, it's out of line. It's out of balance. And it feels like that's kind of where you are right now. And so what I would offer to you is, at this particular point, you get to choose again.
True.
And these are the tough parts, right? Because you're in it. It would be different if we just had this conceptual idea of a relationship that we'd like to have at some point in the future, where we could just talk about it all day and everything would be grand. But you're right there. You're right on top of it right now. And you've got to make decisions and choices, and they're not easy decisions and choices. They're tough, because some days you're going to wake up and you're not going to feel so good.
Yeah, that's happening now.
I got you. I got you.
I am in the place of decision right now, and so I am having all those feelings that you're saying.
But here's the thing. Here's the beauty of it, because I think it aligns with the work that you're doing. This is where the rubber meets the road with where my faith really is. Because right now it's getting tried a little bit,
Yep.
right? When things are going well, everybody's cool with
Yeah.
their faith. But this is the moment at which you really kind of look at it and you grab hold in it, because you're going to have moments that aren't good for you. You're going to have questions about yourself and where your life is going that's going to throw you off. But this is where you like really take hold of your faith, and either I believe or I don't. Can't be on the fence anymore.
Right. So when you say that, believe in what?
Believe in the Bible, and believe and trust in the Lord that you believe in, that you are going to be led in the direction, even though your life looks like it's a little out of balance right now. That, and even though you're going to have tough days, that
Gotta still trust.
trust in the fact that you believe in a God that is a God of victory, not a
Absolutely.
God of defeat.
Absolutely.
But sometimes victory means that
You're gonna
I
go
wake
through
up feeling like I'm
Yeah,
losing.
Absolutely.
I
You
got
gotta go through the battle.
Yeah. So I think that it's a beautiful place that you're in right now. I know you sometimes don't feel that way. But the work that you're doing for the audience out there, and for the folks that you're working with, and I want to also acknowledge your courage here, to be able to get up in front of your people and say, hey, there's something that's going on that, I'm not really feeling 100% great about, because this is what being a human being is really all about. That sometimes we just wake up, and sometimes it feels like things aren't going the way I want to.
Right.
But here's the thing. You took on this experience of coaching, not really feeling 100% of how it's going to show up for you, but the courage that you showed is extraordinary.
Thank you.
And I really just want to acknowledge that, and I appreciate that. And I just want you to hold on to these days, and hold on to the days that you're going to have that doesn't seem good, because this is what your friends and your other relationships are really all about. It will determine sometimes in the future, will some of those relationships actually still exist as well? Because again, everybody wants to be our friend when things are going great.
Right.
But when we run into a place where we're trying to get our balance of our life back into balance, it's like, who's going to be there for me? Who's going to trust and be there?
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
All right. Good stuff
Good.
there, Kelly. Yeah, good stuff. You okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Got anything else you would like to talk about?
No, I mean, I think that's hitting a lot of the nail on the head. Like I said, I'm already in the place of making decisions, and seeking the Most High for where I need to go. And I know I'm in the, what do they say, you're in the wilderness or whatever right now. And I trust that it all works out for the good. I know that. I know that He's showing me things that I probably should have seen a long time ago.
I think that's an important statement that you made there. Because in these experiences, we actually saw things as they were going. And in the moment that we saw them, sometimes we actually allow our minds to call it something else. But now when you get to go back and look at it from where you are right now, in the moment that these things were happening, you could actually go back. Because we talk about memory in coaching, right? We use memory productively, and we use memory sometimes unproductively. And what I mean by that is, sometimes we use our memory to go back and look at things only to align with the story that we've already made up. But now you're using memory productively, because you can look at where did things get out of line, and you can go back and see those moments that you actually called it something else in that moment, but now that you can see it for what it is right now, the question is, in the moment that you saw it, did you not know what it was in that moment?
You mean now?
Yeah.
I know what it is now.
Yeah. See, I would venture to say, Kelly, that in the moment that you actually experienced it, like in the moment that you experienced it, that your internal parts of self, your spirit, actually was giving you information then of what it is, but then your mind said, hey, yeah, it can't be that, it might be something else. So I want you to look in this way as we move forward.
Okay.
Continue to do the things that you're doing, and look at where you sometimes in your life have experiences that your spirit is telling you one thing and you actually call it something else and align with spirit only.
Okay.
Don't allow your mind to get in there and trick you and say that it's something else,
Right.
because the reason why you're in the moment that you're in right now, it's where you could like have something that goes a little out of kilter and I get to look back, is so that you can see the growth would be when you have that same moment in the future that you don't do the same thing. It is what it is. And you could deal with whatever it is, but the not dealing with it gets you to the moment at which you get out of line with yourself. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's the power of God's experience and your relationship with God, is that God is always speaking to you.
Always.
But sometimes there are moments that no matter how much that we believe in God and we have that relationship with God, there are moments at which we just want to kind of cut out on the life we're going to head down this road on our own. It could only be just a moment,
Right.
but that moment actually starts leading you down a road.
Of confusion.
Yeah. And it happens in a moment.
Absolutely.
It doesn't happen
It
in a
does.
lifetime. It
Yes.
happens in a moment.
Yeah.
So, again, utilize your courage that you're demonstrating right now, because you're going to need it. And I feel 100% confident in the fact that you have internally all the resources that you need to be able to pull yourself through this and to be able to grow your life into something even more significant in the future. Just be who you are. Okay? Makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, good stuff.
So, with that being said, do you have any advice for me? I mean, you just gave me some, but I don't know what the word I'm trying to look for. What do you feel like? Do you feel like I'm heading in the right direction? Is what you just said, right?
I feel like you're heading in the right direction, and I feel like if you needed advice, then I think that would be something that I would consider giving. But right now what you're looking at and where you are, you're looking in the right place for you to answer your own questions. Okay? You actually don't need advice. You already have it. It doesn't feel like it because our lives feel like we need to, well, I need to know now. Well, as you reveal the messages of your life and the moments where you called things other than what you knew them to be, when you keep going back and using your memory more productively, you'll know the moments at which either you in your future, you can continue to do that, Kelly, and will continue to feel the way that you feel right now. But if you want an experience to feel fully empowered, fully self-realized, and feel like you're really kind of self-expressed for who you really are, that success that you're looking for, that if you continue to do that, that would be impossible. It's just, it is what it is.
Yes.
Not good or bad. At the end of the day, it is a choice that you made in a moment. But now, because you've had the experience, you can now choose to keep doing that. So you can keep feeling the way you're feeling right now. Or to stop doing that and to actually choose to be okay with whatever it represents, and to be in communications the way that you are with the people in your life, that the communications work, where they're willing to be open to be challenged, and you're willing to be open to be challenged. And as you do that, you learn things. Those moments of being open to challenge are not easy, but you're willing to do that. So it sounds like to me that in the future, as you look at your relationships, you're looking for somebody who's willing to be open and willing to be challenged, no matter who and what they're up to, so that they could learn and grow That's how you get to this prosperous place that you call building. Nobody builds from just, I'm right, you're wrong.
Right.
I don't know how you
Right.
build from that.
No, you don't.
Uh-huh.
You can't.
You can build independently by that, but in a relationship, particularly as it's called marriage, in order to build, we have to have that relationship open enough that as my wife challenges me, that I have to be open to listen to her, not so that I can make up stories about what she's trying to do, because really at the core of what she's up to is trying to make me the best at what I am. I have to be open to that.
Absolutely.
If I'm not, and I want to just keep doing what I'm doing, then sooner or later I will help to facilitate and cause an experience of hurt and pain and sometimes suffering that she would experience, and then start questioning her and doubting herself when it's just me not wanting to participate. I just want to do what I want to do. So if I don't want to do what I want to do, if I want to do what I want to do, I'll say that, then I really shouldn't be in a relationship of marriage, because that's not going to work. It causes pain, and the consequence is somebody is going to feel and experience that pain. So, make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I think that you're in a good place. I think, I'd like to continue our relationship so that I can support you on some of those days that you're not feeling 100%, so that I could encourage you to keep going, because that's what you need, is just encouragement. You're actually looking in the right place. You just have to go through this experience right now. It's
Yeah.
all good. You'll be fine.
I think you read me up and down.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Yeah, good stuff.
So,
Okay.
All right. So if you have any questions, go ahead and give Janice a call.
what's her number?
It's 614-824-8594.
So this is what we are going to end the show on, question and answer session. So please call in so that you can get any answers or questions that you have answered. And I hope that this experience that you experienced with me today helps somebody that may be in the place where I am at today. And you went on a journey with me today. So until the next show, tune in to WTMH Live, hit the subscribe button, and share the show. Did you guys want, we're going to bring Janice and Dorothy, you come back on, and Dorothy back on, and then we'll go ahead and go out. Come on, you guys could come on. Oh. They're going to get their mics, so just give us a minute, and you might have some questions from Dorothy or Janice. We're going to go to a commercial.
Some women are raised to be virtuous.
Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy. Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy.
The Most High said you were more valuable than gold and more precious than diamond rings. All you have to do is take heed to His word, and then you have to believe. Strength and honor, they are your clothes, and kind words for you to speak. Don't walk around with your head to the ground, and don't walk around in defeat.
Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy. Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy.
You gotta change your heart to be a noble wife and bring the good to His life. You'll know the feeling is right. A family is a delight. She'll raise her children upright, and our price is marble. Rubies and rubies, rubies and rubies.
Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy. Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy. Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy. Virtuous we will be. Victory you will see. It defeats the enemy.
Proverbs 31:10 says, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies." Welcome back to Virtuous Woman, taking over, and we have Dorothy and Janice that wants to say a few things about the coaching session.
I will gladly go first. I would like to say that I really, really enjoyed the experience of it because it was certain things that my host, my friend here, was trying to hold back, but the way that Mr. Coleman was questioning her and doing some follow-up questions, he allowed her to be so transparent. You know, she didn't want to say certain things, but by him doing the follow-up questions, he was able to drag it out. So I love the fact of putting her, you know, being placed in a comfortable position. You was able to look at her in her face, you know, to observe her facial expressions, you know, to allow her to know that you were actually listening to her. I think it was just a safe environment. So it was just an honor. I'm deeply humbled to be able to experience this part, you know, of a life coaching, because I've never did a live coaching like this. But I've learned a lot, you know, from it. And just being able to be yourself. You know, in any relationship, you need to be able to be yourself. Communicate with one another. As you were saying, if you can't communicate with one another, then that's
There's
a
nothing
problem.
there.
Yeah, that's a problem. You got to be able to communicate. But I just wanted to tell you that I thank you so much for coming on the
Thank you.
show, you know, and allowing us to be able to experience that and to give us a sneak preview of how you coach, you know, relationships. And, you know, whether it's single, whether you're married, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It
It
doesn't.
doesn't matter. And just like you were saying, Mr. Coleman, that your spirit is not going to allow you to hold back things.
Right.
You know, so if you come into a live coach and think you're about to hold back on some things, you got another thing coming. 'Cause Mr. Coleman is going to drag it out of you by asking some follow-up questions. So thank you so much.
Okay.
You know, for,
I like the fact that when he was watching me, he asked me, I know he probably saw my eyes get glossy or whatever, and he's like, you okay? I mean, so he was attentive to everything that was going on, not just the questions that he was asking, but my emotions, and I had to pull it back together, like, yeah, I'm okay, you know, but I really wasn't. So, I mean, I like that you did that. You were attentive to that, so, yeah.
I appreciate that.
You kind of shared what I was going to ask, because I was so that they understand that in coaching it's a freeing. So I was going to have you ask you, what was your feeling, you know, what did you experience, you know, as far as that emotion side, because in coaching a freeing part is we do see someone in tears, but actually that's washing away some things that you are holding on to for so long.
Yeah.
We've seen people, I've seen her get excited, which cracked me up, because it's like she had an aha moment, like, you know, Our Lady Oprah, like, aha, like, I am doing something right. And so in some coaching sessions, you'll see, wow, I am on the right track. What is my next step?
That's it.
You know, so that's what I noticed. So I was
Yeah.
wanting to know, you know, what was your feeling on that, so that they understand I don't have to be a certain way to be coached. I don't have to come in with a facade. You know, I don't have to have all the answers, because the answers are going to come out of you anyway.
Right.
You know, and what's so liberating and free is when those answers do come out and you do have that aha moment, and now you can finally get unstuck and start moving towards the right direction, or as he said with you, keep going towards the right direction no matter how hard it gets. So that's one thing that I noticed, the expression of relief. Okay, what I thought, because you said while we were on break, she was saying confirmation. All the things that I was wondering about is now being answered. They're rolling out here. So I know that I'm actually on the right track with my decisions of life.
that's right.
Right.
You know, and that actually encourage gets you a lot.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot of things. You know, even the things that your deepest desires as far as your heart asks for, courage actually brings that forth. And I think as going forward, if, you know, when you have the courage to love yourself and be committed to yourself, then you're open to coaching and you're open to making those steps to get there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I love the fact of them saying that they're saying that you have to go through that process.
Yes.
You have to go through the process in order to know how to overcome, you know, the certain things that you're going through. So,
You know, I'd like to add
It
one
was-
thing. I like to add, because I think that what was just said is like really powerful in the fact that sometimes we just need to have confirmation that we're headed in the right direction. But once you know that you're headed in the right direction, that's when coaching is really possible. Because it doesn't mean that we're not going to have those days that we wake up that we feel like we're the only person in the world.
Right.
And it's the coaching relationship that keeps empowering us to keep moving forward. And so this is like the demonstration of kind of a confirmation of I'm heading in the right direction, even though at the core we actually feel like we are. But sometimes we just have to kind of talk it through and be a little bit honest, and sometimes it causes us to be a little emotional. And the reason why is because these are at the core of where pain exists. Is it sitting next to our spirit self, and our spirit self is saying, I can express myself through this so that we can move through, but I need some support.
Right.
And so
Right.
this is at the point in coaching, like we might watch this and say, oh, well, she's all ready to go now and she doesn't need any more coaching. Well, this is actually where coaching actually is needed, because there will be those days that you wake up and unfortunately we just don't feel quite ourselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then we just need to have someone there to kind of keep reaffirming that we're heading in the right direction until we build in that confidence that we're heading in the right direction, and we start seeing life direction shift, and now we got it.
And
But
then-
at the core, we're resourceful enough. We are made up with the, if we really recognize that aspects of us is our ego part, and the core of who we are is spirit first. And the spirit is trying to express itself through this experience that feels tough, but the only thing that's going to bring you through it is the spirit self.
Yeah.
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 And then really what most people are looking for is joy, unspeakable joy. They say happiness, but it's really joy. If they go into the depths of what the scriptures say joy is, that's what you're really looking for. To get to the other side of the joy, we endure the pain to get to the joy, you know. So, and that's what it's about. It's about really having a fulfilling life, a fulfilling life of love and, you know, and joy and a peace of mind. And that's when you know you're on the right track, when you are fulfilled with that joy and peace.
I just think a lot of people are fearful to express their pain and let somebody know they're hurting.
Correct.
Because you always want to make somebody think everything is okay, or you don't want somebody to know that you're having any kind of issues or pain in your life. But that's why that's when you stay stuck.
Right.
That's what stuck is.
Yes.
You're stuck in that.
So when you know that you're having these things and you know it's real, you got to make a choice and a decision of what you're going to do with it.
Correct.
Right? So that's where I'm at. I'm at a place where I'm making a choice and decisions what I'm doing with my pain. I can't worry about the other person in the party. I got to worry about me, and I got to get to the place where I'm okay.
Yeah. And most pain comes from hiding.
That's right.
Yes.
Most pain comes from hiding.
That's what
Because now you have this facade, the
that you gotta
smiles,
pretend and
life's together, I'm fantastic, and inside you're tore up.
exactly.
You know, but being honest and transparent with, hey, I have a pain body that really needs to be healed, or really needs to be cured and healed and moved out, so I can experience the joy that I really long for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's good stuff.
And I like the fact that he said, you know, it's not that you don't have the answers or know how to get there. You just may need somebody to keep pushing you, to give you that affirmation. You're on the right track. This is going to get you your blessings. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's what I kind of was looking for. Like, am I on the right track? Am I on the right track?
Confirmation. You definitely got it.
Yeah.
You definitely got it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was good for you to come up here with courage. You know, just like Mr. Coleman was saying, you know, for you to have your viewers and stuff, and for you to be that example toward your viewers to say it's okay, you know, if you have issues, you know, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
That's the human
But it's gotta-
experience.
That is.
Do something about it, because
That's
if
right.
not, you're drowning. Like, I can say I was kind of drowning for a long time, you know, and wanted, like you said, to make certain kind of excuses as to, oh, this is love, or, you know, or I'm honoring my vows, or whatever the case may be, but I'm drowning.
Right, right.
You know, so you got to come to a place where you stop drowning and say, no, I got to make decisions and choices that's going to help me bring my joy
Bring my
to
joy.
the scene.
I need to grab that life jacket. I gotta quit letting the boat pass me.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's really a blessing. I appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I said, if I need you, I will call. But I am getting counseling elsewhere too.
Good stuff.
But I sure will be calling if I need some more encouragement.
Good stuff.
You did a wonderful job, Tim.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. Coleman, we thank you so much
Yeah,
for
our pleasure.
taking time out of your busy schedule to come and, just like we said, give us a sneak preview of what you have to offer as additional support for those who may be suffering from, you know, marital issues, somebody who's single. You can coach them to anything.
Financial
financial.
situations,
Yes.
anything.
Older kids draining your bank account. You don't know what to do.
However it might be, but
Yes.
I mean, I just want to say to the viewers, if you are struggling with something and you feel stuck,
please get in touch with some lifetime coaches
Yes.
that can help you process that, because it gives you a different feeling and you feel like you're okay. You feel like you can make it. So with that, I'm just going to say until the next show. I don't even want to say what the next show going to be because I don't know. We were supposed to finish off with Sarah, but the Most High had other plans, and so whatever he says do, I'm open to whatever he wants done, and this is what he wanted done. So with that being said, I will see you the next show. As long as you hit the subscribe button, you'll know when we're on. And with that being said, have a blessed day.
Okay.
Have a wonderful day, guys.
Good
All
job.
right.